Welcome everybody to today's meeting of the Fresno City Toastmasters. I'm glad that we are all back again this week, and in person, apologies for the delay last week. My name is Chanel and I'm the current president for Fresno City Toastmasters. I'm going to start us off by reading our mission statement. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Okay, clear that. Sorry, there was a little pop-up on the screen. So today we have a guest returning to join us, Emerson. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And we also, he's new to me, but not new to Toastmasters. Meeting today, Mike is back joining us also. So,
Yeah.
yeah, super excited to get some people back after all of the COVID stuff. I will give quick announcements for those of us who are here. We do have a restroom that if you go out this door to the left, you will see it in the little box that's inside that room.
Very good.
And I also wanted to bring up a reminder of the issue of dues. They were technically due on September 30th, but if you have not paid your dues yet, you definitely still can. No worries on that. Joey, do you have any updates on that?
Nope. I think we're good. I think we got our at least 4, because you have to get at least 4 signed up on time, and then we get credit for that on our distinguished goal leadership style. But obviously this is all on pathways. So if you didn't renew your dues, you're not going to be able to go into your pathway to get your next speech and stuff like that. So just let me know if you need anything. I know Kalani, we did our credit card dance last week to figure that out. But for those that want to just go through PayPal, which makes it a lot easier, you can do it through our PayPal is Fresno. I'll put this in the chat too. Fresno TM, T as in Tom, M as in monkey @gmail.com, but I'll put that in the chat. So if you want to take care of that, we can also do other forms there, take a few more steps, but that's all I have on that.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I thought I was going to bring my dues the previous week when the meeting was held in person.
Yeah.
So I was concerned that it went back to just being Zoom.
Oh.
So I'm not interested in the Zoom meeting. I'm interested in the in-person meeting. So are we set to have the in-person option?
Yes, we
Okay.
are set for the in-person option. I apologize.
Okay.
For last week, yeah, it was just a little unforeseen, but as
Okay.
long as I am still living.
Yeah.
So, or ergo any catastrophic incidences, I would
Got it.
be here.
You got it. Very good. Okay. So I'll get that over to you guys right away.
Okay.
Yeah, and part of it too, we're trying to get it to where it doesn't depend on Chanel or it doesn't depend on Denny to be there to put this thing on. So anything that you guys and gals that are live right now can do, we'll try and see if we can do our deal to put the processes together so that anybody can step into any role and it'll still work and it'll still go online. But those are the kinks we're still working out. So yeah, I mean, Chanel just so happened that she went down and Denny didn't feel as comfortable without her partner in crime there putting that thing together. So that's all understandable. So we're going to work on putting those processes together so that anybody can step in and take that into account. There's Michael sneaking in there.
All right, thank you, Joey, for explaining that. So we will also address our agenda for today. Did everybody get a copy of the agenda? They're lying here on the table, so you can get one about it. We had Sarah down for a speech, but she is not here. So, and for those of you who don't know, Sarah Dawson, one of our members, is in Italy right now.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes Italy does abroad. She is learning to speak Italian and
Having a good time.
doing cool stuff over there.
That's the way to do it.
Is Michael still doing his speech, Chanel?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
Heather, did you want to be the evaluator for his?
I can. I was going to be the evaluator and timer unless you don't have anything. I can
I
pass
can
it off to you.
I can take on the timing if you want to
Sure.
be Michael's evaluator.
Yeah, that would be great.
I'll email you his info that he gave me.
Okay, just quick question, Michael, is this going to be a 5 to 7 minute speech or a 3 to 4?
5 to 7, please.
5 to 7. Okay, thank you.
And I'll email you that right now, Heather.
Yeah, but. Okay, and then Farron is also not here, so can we have somebody volunteer to take over for off counter?
I'll go ahead and do that.
You can do off counter. Okay. Thank you, right?
Whoops.
You got this. Okay, bring it in. Okay. That would be good. Then with that, I would like to call up to the podium our Toastmaster for today, Ms. Amy.
Every week we get more and more people, which is awesome. Very good. Our theme today is cinematic universe. Do you even know what that is? Good, because I didn't know what that was. However, when I was 17, I sequestered myself on a couch with a very good book called The Hobbit, which was the beginning of the Lord of the Rings series. Naturally, when many years later the movie came out, I said, no way, the movie's out, I'm going for sure. So we got the whole family, we went to see the first one, and of course, when the next one came out, we're going. When the next one came out, we're going. A cinematic universe, it's like a jigsaw puzzle of movies, and each one is a piece that creates a bigger picture. And man, it's a cash box for whoever's producing that, because when it comes out, you know you're going. That's all there is to it. And it's satisfying, it creates a new piece of the puzzle. This last weekend, we went to see No Time to Die, part of the Bond cinematic universe. And of course, it was fantastic. I'm not going to give away any secrets about it because it's such an awesome movie. And you won't want to know how it ends. But I think it will be able to continue even after this one. With that, I'm going to introduce our general evaluator, who is Kalani. Hi, Kalani.
Hi, Denny. Thank you. I am Kalani Young, as Denny mentioned. My job today is just to evaluate the efficiency and the quality of today's meeting, and I'll be giving a report at the end.
Thank you,
you.
Kalani. And Kalani, would you like to go ahead and introduce our the other evaluators in your team?
Yes. My laptop just died, so I'm just on my phone. Can you guys send me the agenda again?
It's going to be me, Kaylani.
Okay, thanks, Heather.
Yeah, no
All
worries.
right, then I'll be introducing our evaluator for speech day, Heather Davis.
Thank you, Kalani. We have one speech today. So throughout that speech, I'll be observing and listening for different things as an evaluator. And at the end of that speech, I will be able to give some constructive feedback to our speaker for the day. And I'll pass it back to Denny.
Very good. And then we have our off counter today, who is Mike Ellis. Would you like to give us a little description of what you're going to do?
Yes, hello, and thank you for having me. My role as an odd counter is to listen diligently to everyone's speech and make sure there is no ums or hms involved. And if there is, I will do my best to tally them and then tell you the results at the end.
Thanks, Mike. That's great. And our timer today is Heather.
I can do that, Denny.
Okay, great.
Yeah, because Heather's taking over for the evaluation. So what I'll be doing is I will time our speeches. Michael's speech will be 5 to 7 minutes, and I will use a virtual background for when he hits 5 minutes, will look like this, 6 minutes will look like this, and at 7 minutes to wrap up will look like this behind me. And I will do the same for our table topics, which will be 1 to 2 minute speeches, green at 1, 1:30 yellow, and 2 red. And for our evaluator, will be Heather. She will be 2 to 3 and will be 2 at green, 2.5 will be yellow, and 3 will be red. So I'll be taking the time of everybody speaking today. Thanks, Denny.
Very good, Joey. Of course, the best part of that, Joey, is that we get to see you without ears.
Without ears, because it cuts it off.
That's good. Our Zoom master today is, who is that? Is that you?
Yes, I'm doing the Zoom master.
Good, you get to come up and tell us about it.
Okay, I'm also down for the Marion, so.
Hey, like Mary, I'd like you to do both of those.
Okay.
Come up here and tell us.
Hello, my name is Chanel, and I am our grammarian for today. So aptly, since our theme is the cinematic universe, I have chosen a word that corresponds to the most well-known, perhaps, cinematic universe, which is Marvel. Now, confession, I have actually never seen a single Marvel movie, which might be an accomplishment all its own, actually. But the word marvel, lowercase, is something that causes wonder, admiration, or astonishment, a wonderful thing, a wonder, or a prodigy, such as that bridge is a marvel of architecture. So please try to use that word in the conversation. I put it in the chat for those of you on Zoom, and after I sit down, I'll write out something for those of us in person to remind us. And as Zoom master, I will be monitoring the Zoom call in case anybody puts anything in the chat or if anybody needs to join the meeting. Thanks.
Thanks, Chanel. Today, we're going to welcome Michael Wu up for his speech. 5 to 7 minutes, right? Come on up.
So we lost them.
We did. Okay, well, let's figure it out. Shall we take a minute? Let's hold on just a minute.
The internet is.
We still see you guys.
A little bit.
That's okay. Hear you
Oh, you're
good?
supposed to see us?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
we
good.
hear you talking and
We
everything.
can hear you. You can hear me?
Yep.
Great. We've got a couple of people frozen on there. Like you.
Like me?
Just on the picture though.
Should we text one of our phones?
Yeah, check with the other guys, see if they can hear besides Joey.
Heather, can you hear us?
Okay, it's coming.
Yeah, we
still
can hear
you.
everyone.
Okay, Kalani.
They can't hear.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. So we
Okay,
go ahead and then.
if they can see us, then.
Good. Michael,
All right.
come on up.
Hello, Toastmasters, most welcome guests. Today, my topic is how to simplify processes in life. Why do we need to simplify processes? Because we all have limited time and energy in life. We all get 24 hours a day. How to accomplish more and live a better life in a given amount of time is to work smarter, not work harder. In order to work smarter, we need to simplify the process. So things will be a lot easier. I'll give you a quick example. I run an organic business, and it's very simple. I need to purchase the granite pieces from the factory and then add them all the costs first. Pay the factory, then I have to pay the shipping, and I get a loan from the bank, and I have to pay the interest back to the bank, and pay insurance, warehousing rent, employee cost, and I use a very complex algorithm to figure out the total cost of a piece in here, and I need to add up my profit margin to get the final sales price. So after the complex algorithm, I get a list of different granite price, and I have to have a very long, exhaustive price sheet. Each time I go to the customer's house for the estimate, and you figure out how many pieces, what pieces they need, then go back to do my calculation, figure out the cost, the price code. Because it's very complex, a lot of different numbers, I tend to make mistakes. And if I make mistakes, it's costly. I either don't get the project or I do the project and loss. And over time, I figured maybe I can simplify this overcomplicated process. And I figured out a lot of prices, they're close to each other. They're around, say, 350. They are 360, 340, 320, 370. If I just simplify and cut everything to about 350, then I don't have to bring the sheet with me. I can do the calculation in my head. 3 pieces, each piece of 350 times 3, $1,000. And with that, I was able to simplify the process and get efficiency way up, reduce my math mistakes, and make a lot more sales and more profit. Now, I don't want to keep boring you guys with my business because that's irrelevant to most people. I want to talk about something in life that everybody can relate to. Now, in life, we know there's things that we tend to overcomplicate and we can simplify. One thing is how to manage a relationship. Now, most people have to deal with a relationship, and seems to be very difficult to manage. That's why more than 50% of marriages end up being divorced in this country, right? Because we tend to overcomplicate things. We think like 2 people together need to be very compatible. You have to be have the same kind of interest, same hobby in life, and the same goals in career, and even same political views, same religious views, and it makes things very difficult. One thing, people's interests, people's views change over time. As you get mature, your views will get more mature and you'll change. You might have a view in a 20th certain way, but this you might look at different ways because you grow mature and more intelligent than before. The second part is men and women are biologically different. So we don't tend to have the same kind of interest in life. For example, my wife and I were completely different, opposite of each other. I like outdoor activities, I like hiking, I like skiing, but she was a city girl. She only liked to do things like shopping. We can't find anything to do together. And that's why, in this country, we have a lot of marriage counseling service, couple therapies, try to work out differences. But then I figured out a way, if we simplify the process, disregard all differences and find a common goal. The real reason people come together for a relationship is actually to have children and raise children. And if you have this goal, everything else don't matter anymore. For example, when my wife and I, we got together, we had our first child, immediately my interest in hiking, skiing went out the window because I found spending time with my son is far more entertaining than all the other things combined. And for my wife, it's the same thing. Instead of shopping for my own clothing, shoes, now it's become shopping for kids. So once you have this, everything else don't matter anymore because you have a common goal and go together. We've been married for 17 years. We have 5 children together. And outside the family, we never do same thing together. We don't even vote for the same candidates, but it doesn't really matter because our children are what unite us together. And because we want them to grow up to be healthy and happy, and we are secondary to them because they eventually grow up to replace us. We're gonna die first, and they're a continuation of our DNA. So their interest is actually our future interest, and our current short-term interests and views don't really matter. And if we can all simplify the process this way, then you don't really have to overcomplicate and make the relationship difficult to manage. And that is my speech today for simplified process in life. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, and we have Sarah on the menu here, but we're not going to have Sarah. Do we have anyone else who's doing a speech today? Okay. And if not, we're gonna go straight to table topics. Are you ready for that, Joey?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think we're still having some connection.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Good, so I want to introduce Joey Michael. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hmm.
No?
Yes, yes,
Okay, good.
Hi.
All right.
yes.
Was the timing being done? Because I didn't see the color change on the
I
screen.
think they're frozen.
There is a delay.
Is that what
They
it was?
were
Okay.
frozen.
Got it.
yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
How much of a delay?
Yeah, Joey, we're gonna.
How much of a delay?
Maybe 5, 10.
5, 10
maybe
seconds?
10 seconds.
Okay. All right, I'll try and flash that a little sooner then.
Good.
Okay,
Okay, Joey, we're gonna turn it over to you.
table topics. So table topics is all about being able to do extemporaneous speaking. And this is probably, I think, one of the most marveling things and skills that we can develop here at Toastmasters is to be able to talk in a way that you can collect your thoughts and be asked a question and be able to answer that question, especially in a short time frame between 1 and 2 minutes. So today, what I'm going to do is I pulled offline 365 table topics questions, 365. So what we're going to do is somebody's going to do one of two things. If you want to be challenged, then when you volunteer to go, I want you to pick a number between 1 and 365. And then I will ask the question to give you an idea of some of the questions. They aren't crazy, but I'll give you some just random sampling. One question is, and you can, if you don't want to answer a question without knowing what it is before you come up, if you don't want the challenge, then you can answer one of these questions. Sampling of questions. Who do you love and what are you doing about it? Who do you love and what are you doing about it? Another random one. What is the meaning of peace to you? Peace as in P-E-A-C-E, peace to you. And the third random sampling. What is your greatest strength and your greatest weakness? And or, you can answer that in and or. So if you want the challenge, pick a number between 1 and 365, and I'll grab that question, ask it, and then you can answer it, or you can answer one of those questions. So who is ready to jump in there?
All right, Joey, I'll go.
All right, Kaylani. Do you want to answer one of those or do you want me to pick, you want to pick a number?
We're gonna play some roulette.
Okay, what number?
Hit me with 22.
22. 22 is, what would you regret not fully doing, being, or having in your life? Again, what would you regret not fully doing, being, or having in your life?
Okay. To answer this question, I think it would go back to my very first speech on why I decided to kind of jump out of the corporate hamster wheel. And essentially, the short answer to that would be to really see what I can do with my potential. And not just in my career, but essentially with the impact I can have in things that are really important to me. And I wouldn't have felt that I would have been able to do that had I been pursuing what I was pursuing prior to this journey that I'm on. My biggest regret would be kind of staying in a box in a way and not owning my time the way that I feel that I'm owning it now, or at least trying to. So that is my 30-second response to that question.
Thank you, Kalani. Good answer. You write down your number right here. Real quick. All right, any other volunteers? Heather? Oh,
Mm,
let's go Heather and then we'll go Michael. Or was that Mike Ellis? Was
Yeah.
okay.
Please let's.
Let's go Heather. All right, Heather, did you want to
Yeah,
Choose
I'll pick a number. My
Pick a number.
favorite number is 16.
16. All right,
Yeah.
let's check it out. 16. Have you done anything lately worth remembering? Again, one more time. Have you done anything lately worth remembering? Go for it.
Yes, actually, I did. 3 weeks ago, I went down to Big Bear Lake for mine and my husband's 3-year wedding anniversary. And my uncle Mike had rented a cabin down in Big Bear. I think I just said that. Sorry. My supervisor stopped by. Anyway, the point being is that we love to bike ride. So my husband and I, we brought our little electric bikes with us, and my cousins are huge bike riders too. They've cycled from one coast to the other. And so they rented some bikes, and we got to go on an 18-mile bike ride around the entire lake and take multiple stops throughout those 18 miles, take pictures, make memories. In fact, I just posted a photo today on my Instagram of where my cousin took this photo of me and Kyle, and I kid you not, it looked like a Death Star. It was an observatory, I think, but it really looked like the Death Star. It's pretty funny. But that was something that was pretty memorable because we were dead by the end of that ride, and we've never actually ridden on roads. We've always done like paid pathways and things like that, but this time we're going down the road with cars right next to us. And at one point where we go up and then we finally go down with all that hard work, and we're going like 30 miles an hour with cars right next to us. It was insane. Probably would have never done it if my cousins weren't there, but it was so much fun. I marvel at the thought that I could have died, but thankfully did not. So that is my most memorable recent story.
Thank you, Heather. Thanks for sharing that. And then Mike Ellis, you wanted to jump up there?
Yes, please.
All right, did you want to?
Number 9.
Number 9. Lucky number 9 is
Oh, sure.
number 9. What's a belief that you hold, which, let's do that first. Yeah. What's a belief that you hold with which many people disagree? Again, what's a belief that you hold with which many people disagree?
I believe, first of all, thanks for having me. It's been great to be back and to see everyone virtually and meet you in person. I do appreciate my time. The belief that I think I am a huge and always been a huge lover of history in general, but lately in the last 5 years or so, I've been getting into early American history, like stuff that predates the Bible. And I believe before the Great Flood, which was 10,000 plus years ago, there was, humans had an existence different than we do. And most of my family are highly religious people, and they think I'm kind of silly to believe that we all existed pre-flood. And even though scientists are coming up with different and new and exciting discoveries to kind of support my crazy ideology. So that would be the one thing that I believe, that humankind is much more older than we all give us credit for, and we're much more resilient and resourceful people than we also give ourselves credit for.
Thank you, Mike. Get my regular background back here. Thank you, Mr. Mike Ellis. All right, Denny, are you coming up, or are you just holding the spot? Were you going to do one?
Look, we have a taker right here. Come on up.
Emerson.
I shall take number
Is it
7.
7 for Mr. Emerson. All right, let me grab 7. All right, here we go. You ready?
Yes.
Do you ask enough questions, or do you settle for what you know? One more time. Do you ask enough questions, or do you settle for what you know?
Different table topics. I just marvel at the
knowledge that is out there, especially with the internet. And so I'm either asking questions to my friends or I'm asking questions to the internet. And so I think this is a time of great knowledge. And so for intriguing minds like myself, we are in heaven because of the reservoir of information that's available. So to directly answer your question, I ask many questions. And after I ask those questions, I ask more questions. And the idea is that it's a fluid body of knowledge that I have in my head. And that knowledge is being refined daily. And I think that it contributes to a higher quality of life. Because behind the knowledge, there is a persuasive force in my mind that leads that knowledge, because I think that attitude is the only thing that we control. And so knowledge is neutral, but attitude is the one piece that I control. And so if I can direct that knowledge in a way that makes my life better and the life of those around me better, I have used knowledge effectively. And so again, I marvel at the wonder of the knowledge to us.
Cool. Thank you, Emerson. We're getting a little bit of, there we go. We're getting a little bit of feedback from the online. Everybody can hear us okay? I know online can. Oh, did we lose them?
I think so. They're frozen.
Yeah. We're probably frozen to them. While we're getting them back here, let me write down that time.
Right. Hopefully I'm frozen with a smile on. Yeah, both of them, huh? You got both windows. Oh, you have to log back in, looks like. Yeah, that's the thing over there, because Michael's, there we go. His router is farther away. There we go. And we're back.
There we go. We're
Yes,
back.
we can hear you.
Yeah, there's some.
Emerson's
delay
table topic
on-
broke the internet.
Can't hear you, Joey.
Oh, I have to reach it.
Oh,
Hello?
Yep. Can you hear
Hello.
us? Can you hear us?
okay.
Emerson's table topics broke the internet.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
That's right.
Okay, I think we have time for one more.
Who else wants to go?
Somebody hasn't gone yet.
I can go.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Who's I? Oh, Chanel. All right. Awesome. All right. Did you want to pick a number?
Joey hit me with number 365.
Yeah, you're going to make me scroll all the way down this document. Here we go. All right. You ready? 365. How would you describe your future? Oh, man, this is going to be a hard one. How would you describe your future in 3 words? How would you describe your future in 3 words? Do the 3 words and then elaborate on it. Don't just do a 5-second table topics here.
Okay, I will give a very personal answer. The 3 words that I would choose would be in God's hands, because I believe that our futures are ultimately in the hands of the Lord, and He gets the ultimate choice on what the outcome is. I think that we have choice in our day-to-day decisions, but it is His story, and we are just playing parts in it. And I'm not making it to 1 minute, but I'm going to stop it.
Way to go. Good one. That's a tough one. Way to go, Chanel. Yeah, that's a tough one. Put your future, put your present, put your past in 3 words, or your life story in 3 words. That's pretty tough. So way to go, Chanel. All right. With that, I will pass the baton as table topics is ending back over to, is that Denny?
I think we're gonna go over to our general evaluator, Kalani.
So Kalani.
Yeah.
All right, Kalani, go for it.
Thanks, Joey. I am marveled at the fact that all of us decided to play a little gamble there.
Russian
I
roulette.
really hope that we decided to do this again because I thought that exercise was very valuable. That being said, I'm going to be introducing our evaluator of the day, Miss Heather Davis.
Thank you, Kaylani. I will be evaluating Michael's speech today. The information I have was that well, to be honest, I don't have much information in the terms of what number speech this is and exactly what speech it is, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, Michael. From what I could hear, I'll be honest, it was a little bit spotty a time or two, and also with the acoustics a little bit made it harder to hear. But from what I did hear, I enjoyed what you had to say, and I thought it was very informative, making it easier to simplify something that's not supposed to be complicated, but as human beings, we have a tendency to make things overcomplicated. So I liked how you said what it is that you're going to be talking about, and then you dived into it about, your job a little bit, and then you really honed in on more of like your marriage aspect than the whole overall life theme. So that's kind of one thing. Again, it's not a negative thing. It's just, I noticed that it's more about the marriage than your life in general. But again, it was so informative because I think you're right. Having a common goal does help simplify things. And for you and your wife, that was your children, which is amazing because you have 5 of those. And I'm sure that keeps you on your toes and keeps you busy. Let's see. I really loved how you said with change comes maturity. And that, we are different as men and women. We approach these times different, and how we somehow uncomplicate the complicated life that we do to ourselves. But from what I saw, you identified what I heard, you identified what you're going to talk about. You did talk about, and then you wrapped it up again. Kind of like Joey says, the sandwich. So I think overall with that first speech, I think you did well. And also too, like your hand movements as well were great. I could see it within the frame. So you did well, Michael, and thank you for letting me evaluate you.
Good, and then from there, Kalani, you can introduce our timer.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure that I was the one introducing them. Alrighty, so we will now pass the torch to our timer of the day, Joey Myers.
Thanks, Kalani. So we have Michael Wu's speech came in right on time, 5 minutes, 45 seconds. Table topics, Kalani came in just a shade, about 10 seconds, 11 seconds, under a minute, 49 seconds. Heather came in right on time, 1 minute, 46 seconds. Mr. Mike Ellis coming back. Been a while, been a hot minute. Came in right on time, 1:23. Emerson, who broke the internet at 1:28. And Chanel came in, like she said, a little under a minute, 20 seconds or so, 39 seconds. And then Heather came in with her evaluation right on time, 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Thank you, Kalani.
Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Joey. Now I will be introducing our all counter of the day, which should be Heather, if I'm not mistaken. No, these are all counter.
Michael Ellis.
Oh, Michael.
Thank you, Kalani. Thank you for the introduction. I had the pleasure of listening to everyone's speeches. Everyone did a wonderful job. I had no oohs and ahs to count for anyone, really. I do have a couple of words that people did use, I think, maybe excessively, excuse me. Emerson, maybe in that you used twice. And Mike Wu, you did a wonderful job. I was really impressed with your speech. I'm glad I was here to listen to it. The last minute of your speech, you started using and you used it 4 times. I don't know if it was a little fatigued, but I would be really lucky to use and only 4 times in a speech in 7 minutes. So, to be picky, and was used 4 times in the last minute. But everyone else did a great job, and thanks again for having me.
Thank you. Next, I will be introducing our grammarian, which should be Chanel.
I will admit that in the midst of these tech troubles, I was not quite as observant as I could have been on the word of the day. I know that Emerson used it, Heather used it in table topics, Kalani used it in table topics, Joey used it. Michael, did you use it in your speech? No, okay. Did I miss anybody else on Marvel? No. Okay, I know I did not use it. I'm notorious for that. We need to get that the payment jar back. For people don't use the word.
The fine jar.
The fine jar, yeah.
Yeah.
The investment jar, Danny, the investment jar. We can't call it a fine jar.
Yes. I'll try to bring something for next week, but that is the grammarian report for today. Thank you. Very good. And then you can stay right back.
Thank you. Now I'll be giving my report of the overall meeting. Despite us having technical difficulties in the beginning, I think we're still able to keep on track and even end perhaps a little bit on time, maybe have a couple minutes left over to handle any further business that we need. I will say it was a tad bit hard for us to hear, at least on my end, especially when we kind of switched roles. I wasn't able to hear who picked up what. But overall, I thought we were able to stay on track despite difficulties that we encountered. So a great meeting.
Good job, Kalani.
And I will pass the torch back to Madam President.
Thank you, Kalani. So firstly, apologies for the tech stuff. We're still working that out, but just the fact that we're here doing it is impressive. So we can give ourselves a pat on the back for that. I would like to give out our rewards for today, which if you don't have a name tag, you can make yourself one and use it to collect stickers so that everybody can see how many great things you've been doing based on how many stickers are on the name tag. You see, Denny has quite a lot of stickers over there. So I'll hope that
If you stick around long enough.
our name tags may look like that. So for giving a speech, Michael.
Yay.
And
Mike.
the other Mike for
Thank you
coming
very
back.
much.
Yeah, welcome back, Mike.
And back there and doing table topics. And if anybody who jumped in a role, I'm trying to remember, I think Joey, if you picked up a role, thank you for that. And
Was that Kalani's first time doing general evaluator? Yeah.
maybe
Kalani.
virtual job, Kalani, very good job. Am I missing anybody? We're good, okay. I'm gonna give a reminder or actually perhaps an announcement for next week. We are going to have our area director, Caroline, will be attending our meeting next week and giving a teaching moment. It will be about a 10 to 15-minute presentation on a topic that she's choosing. I believe it will be the moments of truth presentation through Toastmasters. I'm not familiar with all of the subject matter, but it will be good to hear good information. So if you are going to be here next week, you can look forward to that. And we usually do, if guests have any questions, comments, criticisms, so you're not really a guest because you've been to Toastmasters. If there was anything that our guests wanted to say.
No, I think, to be honest, I think, Chanel, you did a wonderful job running and treating the tech problems can be a stressful event, but I think you did it consistently, quite calm and collectively, and you knew exactly what to do. And I think you did a great job. So congratulations to you.
Yeah, between Vinny and Jody and myself, we've been spending the last couple of months working on this, and as you can see, it's still not perfectly, not all.
Marvel at
I mean, Marvel, I think.
Marvel that we can be here.
Together, we are one great person.
Yep.
Definitely. Mhm. Okay, we'll go ahead and fill out the agenda for next week then. I have Heather, you're down for a speech next week. Is that still good to go? Okay.
Are we going to have time though, Chanel, if Caroline's going to be doing her 15-minute?
I have no problem postponing if you need me to, but I can do the speech.
No, speeches are number one priority. If anything, I'll make sure it's probably gonna be more about 10 minutes, and anything we can cut off table topics.
Yeah.
Table topics can be a bit short, so.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to go for next week.
Super. And then I have myself down for the week after that for a speech. So I think it would be great if we could start lining up some speeches a few weeks out for some of us who maybe haven't been doing speeches lately. I realize it can be hard to pop in for the upcoming week immediately, but maybe if we give ourselves a few weeks notice, that'll give us more time to plan for it.
Mhm.
Takers.
Put me down for the second, Chanel, please.
Okay, November 2nd, awesome.
Is Mike Ellis coming back?
Yeah, I think I can make a commitment for Tuesdays. I'll know next week for sure though.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna refrain and then, but,
From jumping in on a speech right away.
yeah, I do want to give a commitment, but I want to make sure that I'm able to give it.
Sure.
That's fair.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm not on pathways, so if I did prepare a speech, what would the topic be? Would it be like do I start from the beginning where I do the introductory speech?
Sure, so let's back up. You want to join?
Yes.
You do, okay.
So have Emerson reach out to me because he's already a part of Toastmasters. He's just with another group. So we got to transfer him to ours. And then once we transfer him to ours and pay, then we can get him into the pathway. So Emerson, you've never been in pathways before?
I have, but I never actually followed the pathways. We weren't really, on the art club was sort of, we kind of just came up with our own, they were like table topics more than they were.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So what I'll do is do you have my email or can you get it from Michael Wu, Emerson? Okay.
Yeah.
So reach out to me, email me, and we'll work on getting you transferred over and paid up. And then once we get that, I have an email that's a step-by-step that'll walk you through how to go through that whole pathway process. It's pretty easy to get signed in and to pick a path and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get you all lined up there so we can get you going and speaking.
Okay, should I hold off for next week then and just wait till we get that done first?
Yeah, so we can get you credit for that speech. And plus, you'll know what path you're in and you'll know what kind of speech that you're going to give. Like what it takes you through a prompt, speech prompt. It'll take you through these kind of a slideshow, whatnot, all the way to the end. And then it helps us to track our members if they're in there filling out that prompt and following that whole thing. Before it was easier, a lot easier. I wish we stayed with the old stuff, but they moved online where we could just do a speech and we can fit it into a specific part of the manual. But now it has to be following that path to get credit for it. So it's easier for us to track that way too.
Okay, very good.
Okay. Answer your question.
Yeah, that.
Sounds like a plan. Okay, thank you, Joey. So moving along to other rules for next week, I will volunteer to be Toastmaster. I would love to do that. Can we get somebody to evaluate Heather's speech, please? Yes. Denny, okay. Denny is going to evaluate speech. So we get general evaluator and table topics master. You want to do table topics, Mike? Okay, awesome.
I'll give a general evaluator a shot again.
Do you want to do something else, or you want to have another go at it?
I can have another go.
Cool. Yeah.
Love it.
And then Michael Wu, in the chat, I copy and pasted that link that I used today. So if you want to try that, that's at 365 different table topics. So if you wanted to do that again, you could do it. Makes it easy on you.
Email to me, right? You email to me or?
I can email it to you. Yep. I'll email it to everybody. So you all can save that one.
And Heather, are you gonna be here next week?
She's
Yes.
giving her speech.
Yeah, but if you don't, yeah, thank you.
Got it. All right, Joey, you wanna grab something?
I can do Zoom and timer.
Okay, that sounds good. All right. Okay, any other points that need to be brought up before meeting is adjourned?
Quick question. Are we able to bring a guest?
Yes, please.
Of
bring it.
course, Emerson.
That is, that would make us very thrilled. Lots of guests. Okay, with that then, I will adjourn today's meeting.
Way to go, everyone. Have a good week.